Alright, so recently Nike has had a ton of new innovative sneakers that have hit the market in an array of different styles, some for the ultimate performance, some sort of as a gimmick to performance, and others just for the sheer lifestyle, which is obviously my personal preference. But through all of this innovation, Nike has really engineered something that is perfect for my feet and probably yours as well. So find out how good the Pegasus Turbos are with Zoom X in this video. What is going on, guys? Hess here, CollectiveKicks.com. If you guys want to shop this week's top sneaker deals, check the link in the description. And I am really excited to bring you guys this video. I'm always excited when there's a brand new sneaker to hit the market, and I love to see the slow evolution between the Nike products and how they can keep innovating and just create more or less the perfect shoe. This is pretty darn close in my opinion. Out of all the other shoes out here that I just showed you, I said previously this is the most comfortable shoe that I've ever tried on from Nike. This is the Zoom Vaporfly 4%, and there was a lot of really positive things I had to say about the shoe, but there was also a lot of negative things that I mentioned as well. Fast forward to this year, and I said that this was probably top 3 most comfortable pairs of Nikes that I've ever tried on, and this is a React Element 87. However, this features Nike React, not Zoom X. But I left the number 2 spot wide open, and I didn't know for sure which shoe was actually more comfortable than this pair until I literally opened the box and tried these on my feet. I knew instantly that this was a match made for me personally, and for those people that actually are serious runners out there, this might be a match for you as well. But the fact that this shoe is really stylish as well as hits a lot of the pain points that I felt with this shoe. I mean, this shoe is just really one of the most perfect shoes I've tried on my feet. I've said this a million times, but the closest sensation that this gives me personally is like when you try on the ULTRABOOST for the very first time. This is a serious competitor for the comfort space as well as for those runners out there. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the general overview of this shoe and then give you guys my initial thoughts on the Pegasus Turbo. Just so you guys know off the bat, this is $180 retail, and the fit, in my opinion, is true to size. So Nike's back at it again with this interesting thin material. As you can see, it is see-through, and then underneath the upper is actually mesh, which is really actually a nice addition to the shoe. One of the other cool features about this shoe is you can see there's a huge Nike swoosh along the side here, and you can see it kind of dips down into the midsole. Unfortunately, you can see they did kind of a crappy job painting that. I literally could have freehanded that better myself, and I'm pretty terrible at painting. As you work your way back around the shoe, you can see there's a bunch of little dashes throughout the entire upper of the shoe. I don't really know the significance of that, but it does kind of look like the dashes in the Pegasus 35s. And to add a little bit of an effect on the side of the shoe, you can see the flywire that does come all the way up for the laces. Down the middle of the shoe, this is the part that a lot of people love to hate, but I personally think it's dope. You have this huge, crazy hot punch stripe down the middle, and it's a thick stripe. It's not just like a little thin one, and it is all the way from the tongue down to the front of the shoe, but then also wraps around to the bottom of the shoe. And I just think it is a really cool design element to the shoe. I don't know why, but I absolutely love this colorway. Just kind of like one of those colorways where you look and you're like, yeah, it's kind of ugly, but then you really look at it more in detail and you really appreciate what they ended up delivering. And these have grown on me every second that I've looked at these outside of the box. And speaking of the box, there you go, the Nike Zoom Pegasus 35 Turbo. Really confusing, Nike. Like, why would you call it the Zoom Pegasus 35 and not the Zoom X? Because that is one of the main features of this shoe. It's not just Zoom, it is Zoom X. Adding more confusion to me at least. But on the tongue, you can see it says some Nike branding, Pegasus 35 Turbo, Zoom X. So it does have it there. And they have a couple icons on the shoe down here, the racetrack. And again, mentioning this for those that maybe missed it last time I mentioned it, that is actually a Nike swoosh pinwheel. So a bunch of different swooshes connected by the tail. On the inside of the shoe, you can see there's a Hyperfuse Nike swoosh, and the outside swoosh, though, is actually painted on if you can't really tell. So there is a difference in these two. Definitely remind you of the Pegasus 35 because that's, in a sense, what it is, except for it's the turbo version, which means that they turbocharged a couple things. The overall shapes are very similar between the two, but the shape of the tongue is actually different on both of these. This one is more flat, as you can see right here. And this one, the center part is a little bit higher. The back part of the shoe looks pretty similar, though. It does come up. The one on the 35 actually points out more than on this one. Then they have that little 3M toothpick on the back. I will say that the heel cup section on the 35s actually feel firmer than on the turbos. So if that's a concern of yours, I don't know. But I don't think it would play a factor into the stability of the shoe because it's still pretty good. You can see the traction pattern is completely different on the soles of the shoe. You do have kind of the Pegasus sort of little nibs all over the place, but the overall shape and the stripe down the side of the Pegasus, which they're kind of known for, it seems like, that is no longer on the Pegasus Turbo. On the Turbo, you do have raw Zoom X in the middle of the foot, and then you have traction on the front and the back sections, along with on the racing stripe down the middle of the shoe. But this is raw Zoom X on the bottom, which could end up being problematic in the long run for wear and tear. But honestly, I think that they did a couple things that made this better than the 4%. And I'll get into that in just a second. The main thing you guys are probably interested in is this Zoom X midsole. It's insanely soft and squishy, like really, really good. And it's exactly what I would have hoped to see on this shoe. It's super soft. It's definitely softer than React. Also on the back part of the shoe right here, you could see that this little nib sticks out a little bit more, has more of an aerodynamic feel than the regular 35s, and it's something that I really dig. And just a side by side of both of these, you can see there's a little bit of a ribbing sort of effect on the turbos, and then on the 4%, it just has tons and tons of wrinkles from me wearing them a lot. They do have a distinguished Zoom X branding though on the Pegasus Turbo, which is not something that you really saw on the 4%, which I actually like. I think that was a smart move. The biggest difference between these two though is the carbon fiber plate down the middle of the shoe versus this one does not have the carbon fiber plate. And so I was kind of concerned about that. I was like, that was definitely a part of this shoe that made me feel like this was more for runners, is because it had the carbon fiber plate, which definitely gave you the responsiveness that you needed for Zoom X. And I'm not 100% sure if runners are going to love this shoe for running in or not. It is really ultra comfortable and squishy, but I don't think it's going to be something that real runners are going to love comparison to the regular Pegasus. And the Zoom is very thin and it's very firm. Like if you put the shoe on, it's really, really firm comparison to the Zoom X. And I'm not sure if those people that run out there that usually prefer a firmer ride are really going to like the Zoom X. I think the Pegasus offers that. This one absolutely changes the game for that. So if you like the cushion in every step, this is going to be amazing. If you don't and you like a firm ride, then this is going to be terrible for you. Also, because of the Zoom X, it is a little bit unstable feeling, and obviously you have to tie your laces, and I said the same thing in the 4%. They were just really unstable because there's so much give in the Zoom X. Again, it just might not be a very good choice for runners out there. But you guys that actually run in the shoes, if you guys can come back and leave a comment and let me know, is this something that you actually run in? I know I'm from the casual perspective of the shoe, but for those people that actually do run, maybe just leave a comment for them. So while this Zoom X does not have the carbon fiber in it, there's a couple things that I think that they improved upon over the 4% that I love. One is this crazy tongue. I hate this flimsy tongue on the 4%. It's just terrible. Honestly, I really don't like the entire upper on this 4%. This material feels really, really cheap, and I just didn't really like it. The overall structure is non-existent, and the tongue, again, is just the worst part. They improved all of that because this, in my opinion, is the best looking Pegasus ever to release, and the 35 is actually the best looking one also previous to this. So it's natural that I would actually love and gravitate towards the Turbo because I like the Pegasus 35 base that this one started off of. It's an attached tongue up to the top of the laces, but because it actually has a tongue, it looks aesthetically cooler, as well as the fact that this is just really well padded. And the upper feels a lot more substantial than on the $250 4%. I personally prefer everything about this shoe with the aesthetic side of things over the 4%. The other major wow factor for me is they added more traction to the shoe, and you could see the entire outsole. There's kind of an outline around the outsole, which adds a nice little rubber traction pattern and will prevent this section right here from getting as much wear and tear as something like the 4%, where this just got thrashed because it was direct contact with the pavement. So this is going to help prevent that a little bit. I think that all in all, this was just a really smart move from Nike to be able to actually do that finally. And it doesn't take away the sensation of the Zoom X, in my opinion. It just feels really good still. But that's my overall first impressions of the Pegasus 35 Turbo. I am absolutely blown away by this shoe. And at this price point, honestly, if you guys want to see like a Pegasus Turbo versus ULTRABOOST video, that would be something that I'm interested in creating, because at this point it'd be a really tough decision to say which one I like better, this or the ULTRABOOST. I mean, I love my ULTRABOOST, but this shoe offers a lot of the sensations you get from the ULTRABOOST from the first time you try it on, and kind of just kicks it up a notch. And it's the same price point at $180. The other major factor that makes this shoe really, really nice is the fact that it's super lightweight comparison to the ULTRABOOST. It's probably half the weight of the ULTRABOOST or close to. It's just significantly light. Anyways, what do you guys think? Did you guys pick up the Pegasus 35 Turbos or not yet? They do release in August. I ended up getting it early from the Nike Plus app. Luckily, I ended up scoring them before they sold out. The coolest part about it to me was Nike actually overnighted these because of the whole turbo thing and running fast. Like, they decided to do overnight shipping for the pre-release, and I thought that was a really smart move. So awesome that I got them early. Excellent work to the Nike folks that actually created this shoe. Even though I'm a casual channel, I appreciate what they did for the running side of things, but even more, I appreciate it because this is something that I can actually rock casually, and this is close to one of the best experiences that I've ever had on my feet. Anyways, that is the video. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to be notified of when my videos go live. Also, if you guys want to smack the thumbs up button, it is much appreciated when you guys do that. And thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys for some more sneaker videos very soon. Peace, guys.